Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to the Tomb of the Spider Queen. Today I'm gonna give you a guide on how to build Artanis, this hero right here, as a Bruiser. He's the latest hero, obviously, of Heroes of the Storm, and you can only really play him as a Bruiser if you already have a main tank. So today I'm queuing up right here with D the Hunter, who's going to be playing Johanna in this specific game, and we are up against Artanis, Lieutenant Morales, Hierarch, Falstad, and Karazim. So relatively tanky compositions from them, and I am gonna be picking the reactive parry as my very first talent. Now in this video I'm gonna go over the talent selection, obviously, and there's a couple of different variations that you can be running. I'm gonna try and explain those. I'm also gonna try and explain the champion itself, like the hero and how it works and the different abilities and whatnot that he got, and where he's strong and where he's weak. But obviously I'm gonna try my very best because I'm also playing the game while actually, you know, trying to give you commentary at the same time. So one thing to note about this hero is that he is technically a warrior, but I wouldn't really consider him the greatest of greatest tanks in the game. I mean, he is relatively tanky, but he's not like super duper tanky where you can do a ton of damage and just, you know, sort of stay alive. He can be extremely sustainable, especially later on into the game. But early on, I'm gonna try and play a little bit safer because there's no need for me to really risk it and do, you know... Oh, don't die! Ah, dang. No. That was a massive risk right there. I didn't need to train again. But like I say, you know, it's very difficult to stay alive early on because especially through the different talents, this guy becomes much more powerful. So, as far as the abilities go, okay? So the very first ability that I got, and the most important one to note, I would say, is my passive trait. It's technically not an ability, obviously, but it basically activates every time I'm at 50% health or lower, and as long as I am below 50% or lower, as long as I'm below 50% health, every 20 seconds by default, I will get a massive shield on me. So you can see the shield being activated right there. However, with every single basic attack that I do, I lower that cooldown of the shield by 4 seconds. And that is where my W comes into play. So my W ability basically is a couple of quick dashes immediately. It does obviously a lot of damage. There's a lot of, you know, burst damage that we get out of that. But most importantly, we are, you know, dashing or slicing away with our Zealot sword right there very quickly, obviously triggering that shield overload cooldown more often. Then we got the Q ability. Q ability is this dash in and dash backwards. Very, very powerful. And the last ability is actually a lot more difficult. It's that one right there. And what happens is basically you try and hit that skill shot on the hero, and what happens is that they use basically switch position with them. I find that the most unreliable ability that I got, the E ability. The Q ability and the W are pretty straightforward, but with this hero it is all about deciding when you want to go in combat and when you need to be heading out again. And obviously, since you are stronger technically, below 50% attack, and also with the talent selection that we'll be going for, you can actually be, you know, a lot stronger the lower your health goes. And that's all what this hero is about. You need to, you know, be very, very safe all around. So I'm gonna go with the lethal alacrity right here at level 4. Very difficult to pronounce talent, but basically what it does, it makes my Q ability a little bit stronger. Now at level 1, if we're gonna play a Bruiser, right, then we're not gonna play super tanky, which is exactly what I'm focusing on right here. I would either go with the Seasoned Marksman or the reactive parry. Most of the time, you would want to go with the reactive parry because it gives you a little more sustain, but sometimes you can go ahead and use the Seasoned Marksman as well, especially on, like, you know, big 3-lane maps. Ugh. Or for example, you know, maps where, or like if your opposing team is gonna be like double support, for example, where you don't need to really sustain yourself very long, and you can just go ahead and try and just dish out maximum amounts of damage. But in most scenarios, you do want to go for the reactive parry. At level 4, I would recommend going for the lethal alacrity pretty much every single time. You can be going for the Templar Seal here as well, which will, you know, give you a little bit more sustain, especially later on into the game. That's one of these talents that basically becomes stronger the lower health you are at. But, you know, lethal alacrity is very, very good. Okay. Oh, sadly, he does obviously manage to get out of there. I actually should try and turn in a couple of these gems that I got, because we do have enough for a turn in now. There we go. Great. So the web weavers are going to be ascending for us. Now at level 7, the choices become a little bit more difficult to pull off. You can be playing this guy, for example, also as a hero that focuses on Bruiser camps. I mean, there's a talent right here that makes you super powerful against Bruiser camps in particular. For example, the amateur opponent right there at level 1. But most of the time at level 7, you would either go for the Solo Ride Reaper or follow through. Now, if you want to play super high single target damage, the follow through is simply better. And it really depends on the maps here as well. Obviously, like on the bigger maps in general, you see more like drawn out fights and more single target fights. Follow through is likely gonna be stronger there. However, in this case, I'm gonna go for the Solo Ride Reaper because there's likely gonna be a lot of grouped up team fighting. But follow through, also a great talent to do, you know, crazy amounts of damage. Now we gotta be very careful here still. Ugh. They are, by the way, running double support here. Didn't actually assume that their Karazim would start healing as much as he is. But it's all good. It's not like your, you know, reactive parry is ever really going to be a bad talent either. Now, in general, this hero can easily top the damage meters. I've noticed that over the last couple of days while playing him a ton, he can easily top the damage meters if played correctly. I mean, you can do more damage than a Jaina, you can be doing more damage than pretty much anyone else in the game. And that is why I find him very, very enjoyable to play. However, if you're up against a team composition that has a lot of stuns, and that's probably the reason why you won't see him too much in competitive play. Like if you have a team that has a lot of crowd control, and you're up against a team that has a lot of crowd control, for example, the game that I actually played before this one, they had a Kerrigan, a Tyrande, they also had a Muradin in there, and just a ton of like crowd control on me. I couldn't really, you know, get all my basic attacks in, therefore I couldn't really trigger my shield overload, and therefore I couldn't really sustain myself very well. In this specific team composition, they have a little bit less of that. They still have, you know, a bunch of stuns obviously, but they have not as much as we had in the previous game, and you can see immediately I can make use of that shield overload more often. I'm gonna be turning in once again. Sadly, they are already turned in on the opposing side of the map, so that's a little unfortunate. But try and play this guy mostly in combination with like another warrior, because as a solo tank, I mean, he can sustain himself very well, but if they have crowd control and they have a lot of team fight potential, I suppose, it becomes really difficult to pull this guy off. It becomes really, really difficult. If, however, they let me go like they have been doing so far, I mean, I'm not gonna complain, because my, oh my god, in these sort of little nukes right there, this hero can do crazy amounts of damage. I haven't checked the hero damage so far. Most of the time, especially like past level 13 and 16, we do become significantly more powerful. Obviously, we do have a bunch of dedicated damage dealers in the team here as well. But at this point, I can definitely become that as well. Do have to get out of here. A little stuck in the corner. Luckily, Medic does help me. Now, one thing to note about Q ability that I haven't noticed yet is that we can actually use it to get past gates as well. I got caught off guard right there. Please keep me alive. Please keep me alive. Oh my god, I am totally out of position there. Yeah, that was a misplay right there by me. And even then, you can see how they were focusing me down with 5 of them and like this spider thing right here. Even then, I mean, I'm just gonna pretend right now that I meant, you know, to sort of go down right here. But even then, they still don't really manage to get me down all that quickly. Obviously, I got 2 support on me and I have my shield overload, but the sustain that you get from the basic attack and the shield overload is absolutely insane. Now, we have 2 different ults. I would say Purifier Beam is pretty much always going to be the superior choice. Basically, what it does is turn down this massive beam right there, and it basically disrupts team fights a lot. It can do a lot of damage. Cooldown is a little bit long, and I probably shouldn't have used it right there, but at the very least, it's good display on what this ability can do. It's very, very powerful in team fights, especially later on. I would like some help here, please, sir. The other ult that we got, the Suppression Pulse, it's very good. And it becomes especially powerful. Oh man, I need to get out of here. I need to go to the team fight. It becomes especially powerful like past level 20, but since we can go for the Nexus Blade, I generally tend to be going with the Purifier Beam instead. Right, just dashing him back and forth. Oh my god, this is a scary team fight. I'm not sure if I like this too much. I'm gonna have to get out. Getting a little low in health here. No! Don't go down! Oh man, I can't really get in there either. I would have tried to shoot some damage there, but I know that I have no way to get out. Oh man, I should have saved my Purifier Beam, honestly. Like, that would have been a huge potential right there. Especially when there's that much stacked up fighting. Basically what the Purifier Beam does, by the way, I haven't explained that yet. Basically what happens is you activate it and it chases down a certain enemy with this beam that gets thrown down. It's super good. Like if they stand still and they're not paying attention, for example on a Sergeant Hammer or like a Ravenous Spirited Nazebo, it's super powerful. But it's just good all around though, just to disrupt the team fights. Okay, here we go. Activated it. And here we go. You can see the damage that it does right here is insane. We're fighting like mad here, and we may very well not be able to stay alive, but... Oh, keep me up, keep me up, keep me up. Alright, great. Just trying to get all the dashes in right there for my W ability, making sure that I get as many as possible. Very shortly, level 13, I will be able to get a third attack from that as well. But if you want to be safe, use the Q ability mainly. So far, hero damage-wise, we haven't actually done, like, too much yet. But we're getting pretty close to hitting that top mark. And usually past, like, level 13 and 16, you can really see the strength of this ability coming out. Ooh, Butcher going extremely deep right there. Haha, sadly, obviously, it is gonna be the, Karazim right there, and he will be able to dash out. But sadly, we haven't been able to close any of these fights out properly yet. We should really go ahead and turn in, though. Do we have enough? Sadly, we don't have enough yet. Super close fight so far. This game can definitely go either way. They're slightly ahead right now. Not just in the 1/4 that they managed to kill, but also in the level advantage. I'll go. I'll go. Alright, activating my ult. And there's actually someone stuck in here. There we go, medic. Trying to get whatever damage I can right now. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna have to run. Don't stun me. I don't like that impale. Oh man. Yeah, we need to focus down the medic. It's rough though. Okay, 3 seconds here. Sadly, the enemy web weavers once again are gonna be ascending again. We're gonna focus on them hard. I will use my Purifier Beam on it right now as well. I've been using it on Nubarak, not the greatest of greatest targets right there. I sort of did it on him because he was walking with his team a lot, and I hope that the splash damage would start to kick in right there. But you can see, we're already, you know, out-damaging the Butcher right here, and it's really the opposing Artanis right now that is ahead as well in the hero damage for the opposing team. Which is kind of interesting, really, for a warrior. Generally speaking, obviously, it's the assassins that are really good at that. Okay, medic is over here. Just trying to disrupt him, trying to get him out of the fight. Obviously, he can heal at the same time while he's also moving, so it's not usually the greatest of greatest ways of doing this, but... We're gonna go for the triple strike here. Triple strike makes it so that my W hits more often. Giving me more triggers of my shield overload, obviously. And they're still slightly ahead right now. Well, actually, they're not slightly ahead anymore. They're pushing the advantage that they already had. Ooh. And sadly, we do just barely not make it, and we fly through the gate with a massive gem right there. Very unfortunate so far. They're pushing hardcore, managing to get in a ton of damage. But I would say this hero is one of the strongest all-round characters, especially for like quick match and whatnot. And if you want to be playing a second warrior in a team composition, where you're up against a team that doesn't have a ton of like crowd control effects. If you're up against a team that has a ton of CC, it's difficult to pull him off, but otherwise he's very, very good. Now they're getting closer and closer towards pushing our base. It's a little unfortunate here. Obviously, Heroes of the Storm always a game where you can come back. So far, this has been relatively one-sided. Either way, though, it should give you a pretty good impression on how to be playing Artanis in a Bruiser type scenario. We have been playing him relatively well so far. All right, we can win. We just need to get to 16 right now. Alright, my web weavers, or our web weavers rather, are gonna be ascending right now as well. Alright. Now obviously they are kind of looking for team fights here as well, but there's no way we can win a fight if it's not a 4v5, or it's not like a 4v5 really. We need to get extremely lucky. Nuke medic down. If we can, we gotta nuke down medic. All eyes on medic. And he's actually gone for the other ult. Okay. We did get the stim drone right now on us as well. Medic is still hanging right there in the back. We're doing a ton of damage to him. Okay, he's down. But I think we're a little bit too low right now, and sadly, we didn't get any heals ourselves right there in order to finish him off. I think I may have gone a little too deep right there. Great positioning, honestly, on their medic player. But hero damage-wise, you can see we start pushing ahead more and more and more. At level 16, rather, this becomes even more powerful. We get one of the absolute strongest talents in the game, in my opinion. Psionic Wound. I would say Psionic Wound is gonna be the one ability that you need to pick every single time. I mean, technically speaking, okay, if you wanna fake the damage score screen a little bit and you wanna pretend you're actually better than you are, Titan Killer makes more sense, because technically speaking, you will do more damage, okay? You will do more damage, your allies will do less damage, so therefore you will be higher up, right? However, in a realistic game, Psionic Wound is always gonna be your pick, I would say. Zealot Charge is pretty good as well, has a lot of use. Titan Killer also has a lot of use if you're not having like a super high damage comp. But since I have teammates here and I need to support those, Psionic Wound basically makes it so that every single hero that I hit after activating my W ability, and keep in mind that W ability is gonna, block me a little bit of damage because of my first talent, and also strike 3 times because of my level 13 talent, they will take increased damage of 25% for 2 seconds, which is huge. That's a crazy amount of extra damage. So, I would say Psionic Wound every single time. You can be going for Shield Surge as well if you're playing tank, but not really the subject of this video. Okay, here we go. Alright, let's get medic freed up right there. Doing a ton of damage to him right now. And we're actually winning this engagement. Great. Great, great, great. You can immediately see the switch around right there. Once we hit level 16, I mean, it's not just me, obviously. The teammate is, or my teammates are also hitting it. But it looks like we're maybe potentially here at a bit of a comeback. At a bit of a comeback right there. Okay, let's get the other web weavers. Mounting up. I'm actually gonna go to the bot. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Very good. But yeah, I would say Psionic Wound every time. It's a great talent. It seems sort of like playing like Zeratul and not picking the Void Prison, right? Like it's such a great pick. Such a powerful ability. And yet I see a lot of different Artanis is actually running the Titan Killer. Just because it makes you look better, but I think he's actually gone for the Zealot Charge, also an interesting option. The Zealot Charge basically makes you charge every time you activate your W ability, which is very, very often. The cooldown on it is very low, but I think it's better this way. You think they're doing boss? Alright. I'm a little worried for this. I'm gonna poke in, boys. Okay, no, they're not there. Okay. Once again, gonna activate my W. Where's medic at? Where's medic at? Not really at medic anywhere close. Oh, I'm getting targeted down so hardcore here. Still staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. Oh my god, that's such a crazy amount of damage. Or such a crazy amount of sustain right there. We're so close to wiping that entire enemy team, and even though I went down right there, I think I did my job. I think I did what I came for right there. I mean, ideally I would stay alive right there more often, but if they're focusing me that hard, and I am being healed up by the medic, obviously it gives me a ton of sustain. You know, we traded 2 for 1 right there. That is the one strength that we have, okay? If you didn't catch that one very closely, I stood there right there, they were focusing me down like mad. But that, shield overload in combination with the twin blades, in combination with my triple strike right there, as well as the reactive parry, it just gives you a ton of sustain. And, you know, this is why he's a brawler. He doesn't really go down. Good luck taking a one-on-one engagement with this hero. Butcher! Butcher, you crazy! Butcher, get out! Whew. I know Butcher's brand is good, but it's scary to do it like that, man. Now, I can use, by the way, my Purifier Beam across the entirety of the map. I can use it in a, you know, at much range as I want to. It's good for, like, let's say I see someone being super low health. I can actually activate it right here, and the Purifier Beam will still go ahead and activate just like that, but... Okay, we need one more. Okay, watch out. Yeah. Okay. Johanna got one. So does Butcher. Alright, we should be fine here. Can we have a bird? No birds. Oh, they're there. They're there. They're there. You could see it. Okay. You could see it by basically checking out exactly where they were located, or after we turned in the gems. You could see that it was still up. You could see that the boss icon on the minimap was still activated right there. And somehow, some way, we're losing this engagement. This is not good. This is not good for us at all. I'm gonna go for the Nexus Blades. Nexus Blades will make me a lot more powerful. But somehow, some way, they were already damaged and we didn't actually take that. Now, we are pushing still. We are pushing. So, even though we were behind by a good 2 levels, it all turned out to be alright. It all turned out to be alright. Only Butcher ended up falling there. They did decide to return home. We haven't lost any of our keeps yet. They also haven't lost any of their keeps. we can't really afford to be walking by ourselves though. We need to like move together. All right. They don't have a lot of gems themselves right now, but they likely will start tuning in shortly. They're likely doing their own Bruiser camp right now, but this is looking really powerful. We need to make sure that Butcher gets back into this fight, obviously. I don't think they want to go boss again. It's too risky. Especially with this much scouting going on. We could consider trapping them. I do not want to walk by myself, though. Alright. I want to wait for Johanna to go in. Okay, here we go. Activated my ult. Oh, great! Great, 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 great! Medic, 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 medic! Great! Alright. Now we can basically just hit whoever. I mean, technically we couldn't, but... it's basically what it's coming down to. Great, we get another kill. Dashing forward, pushing forward. Trying to go for the victory here. The triple blades right there helping out a ton as well. Just dashing forward. We aren't even below 50% health right now. Our abilities aren't even being triggered. If we pick up one more, we can actually finish the core. Oh, Nubarak! Wow. How did I not get him? I missed. Oh my god. One thing to note about the Q ability as well that I haven't pointed out yet, I don't think, is that it does do 3 times as much damage on the return. So the dash backwards is a lot more powerful. Yeah, let's just leave. Let's just leave. I think if we would have focused down on Nubarak right there, I think I would have been able to do it. And I think we would have been able to finish the game. Well, potentially. There's a lot of potentials here, but... whew, gem overload. Alright, we'll compliment the team here for their great endeavors. This game could still really go either way. We need to fight 5v5. Can't do anything else. We can't really trap though. We can trap, but we can't do boss. Let's pretend we're going in. Alright, we're pretending we're going in. They know we're here. They know we're here. Here we go. Medic, 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 medic. Okay, I do have the extra help right now as well from our beloved medic that is giving me a crazy amount of extra attack speed. Once again, triggering that, you know, overload that I got more often and therefore giving us the ability to actually do a ton of extra stuff. Why do we not just finish? Why do we not just finish? Hit the core. Hit the core, hit the core, hit the core. No, hit core, hit core. We can just finish the game here. We have 40 seconds. We have 40 seconds here. This is fine. We should be okay here. Great, great, great job. And this should be the game. So as always, I will leave the actual build that I used in this video down below the like button in the description of the video. If you want to see more content, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you will get a notification when I upload another one. I want to thank you guys all for watching. 98,000 hero damage. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile. And I'll see you in the next one.